I always wanted to play the game Dragon's Dogma, ever since I saw the trailers and the gameplay footage of it. However, I lacked money at the time to get it. Normally I'd assume a game like this wouldn't sell out fast in my town, but boy was I wrong. It seemed like everyone in Jacksonville, NC wanted that game. I waited until about mid-September to try and buy the game at the local Walmart. Luckily, they'd just restocked and I had just enough for it. Everything started out pretty normal. Start screen showing a dragon, main theme, etc. I started up a new game and spent a bit of time making my guy. He was a mountain of muscles with a large afro and a high-pitched voice. And his name? Wiggles. After that, the first cutscene showed up. Quinta was meeting Wiggles just before the dragon attacks and steals his heart, making him the Arisen. Everything progressed fairly simple from there. I started out as a strider, and went out to begin the game with Rook. Showing up as soon as I leave town though, there was a rather minor glitch. It was just a slight screen tear when the rift opened up. I figured it was just a hiccup of my Xbox 360. The game continued normally from there. Then, we reached the encampment and the next rift stone to make my pawn. I figured I may as well make her female. I gave her dark hair and a short double ponytail style, dark brown eyes, a little figure, and named her Aloe. Her profession at the time was fighter, and when the rift showed up the second time, the screen tear seemed to be slightly worse than before, but I ignored it still. So we continued, battling the Cyclops, bandits, wolves, and other unsavory types, including the Hydra. So off we went to Grand Soren, fighting harpies and the occasional screen tear. They seemed to be getting worse as we got closer to Grand Soren. Normally pawns would be telling the player how to handle a foe, or something about the area, but not mine. They kept saying, "'Tis a terrible place we head to." They sounded almost scared to venture any further, though we had to push on. I wanted to see how the game made out when we just got where we needed to go. As soon as we passed the gates into the city, there was no cutscene with Mercedes, just an empty Grand Soren. My main pawn, Aloe, was with me, though Rook seemed to have disappeared. The capital was now a ghost town. The screen tears had ended as well. I was curious as where to everyone had gone, so I explored, and I eventually received a quest, The Darkest Depths. The quest was simple enough. Go to the Pawn Guild. Its location marked on my map. I went there, though I wasn't quite ready for the sight I saw. There were multiple pawns, all named Legion, curled on the ground, dead, or otherwise not moving. It was an odd sight for sure. Though what was even more odd was the fact that I wasn't connected online, yet these pawns showed up. Stranger still, the rift stone that was supposed to be there seemed to have been broken, as if it was in use by someone. It had a small ring radiating from its center and outwards. I don't know why. Maybe simple curiosity, or who knows. But I continued down this rabbit hole. I got to the quest area, and the gate was open for me. My pawn warned me that there were unknown dangers and started heading in before me, without me telling her to do so. There was a short moment of hesitation on my end, as I followed after her. I had no idea what to expect, only that it wouldn't be good. What I entered wasn't a dungeon, but rather the rift. It seemed different. Again, I was offline and I saw more of the Legion pawns, all of varying levels and jobs, but all with the name Legion. I noticed my pawn was among them. She seemed different as well, just staring at me, no matter where I moved. I used the rift stone to get out of there, but it took me straight to the bottom of the Everfall, a dark place under Grand Soren that's home to many undead and other monsters. All the doors were open, but everything was unavailable for hire or any other type of dialogue except for the pawns, and they always showed up in groups of 2 or more and kept repeating one phrase over and over. Master, we're waiting. All in unison, in a monotone voice. It was unnerving to say the least, but I pressed on. I was going up the path, seeing more and more pawns, their voices all saying that one phrase. But once I left the Everfall, I saw what had happened to the residents and the creatures. They were the first victims of the Legion. Many of the monsters lay defeated, with bits of them chopped off. The villagers and soldiers lay on the ground dead, or turned to stone. How I didn't notice that until now is a mystery to me. Maybe the Legion hid it from me to lure me in, or I don't know. All I knew at that time was that I had to get my character out, and fast. The Legion was slowly moving in towards my character. Normally, I would have tried to fight them, but I didn't because my quest log told me to run, nothing more. So I ran as fast as I could out of Grand Soren. It was nighttime though, which was unfortunate since that meant I could only see as far as my lantern allowed, and all I could hear were the voices of the Legion telling me they were waiting. But for what? I don't know. I know I should have turned the game off as soon as the freaky stuff started, but I wanted to see what would happen if I continued. I kept Wiggles running as fast as I could, as long as I could, since if I stopped it, it seemed the Legion would get closer to me, and each touch from them inflicted some sort of ailment, from poison to burning to drench. I had to use every item in my inventory just to keep myself from dying. I continued the mad dash to the encampment. The valley between the encampment and Grand Soren was littered with the corpses of soldiers, either crushed by rocks or killed by a wild beast. The path that would normally lead to the encampment was blocked off by the Legion, just staring at me with those lifeless eyes, always getting closer. The night didn't seem to be ending either. I made a dash for the only place I could, the fort and Witchwoods, which was blocked by more of them. The eradication site. I ran out of options. I couldn't go into the water since it would kill me, and I couldn't go anywhere else either, due to the legion of pawns just behind me. And I couldn't fight them. There were simply too many, and they were too powerful. The legion crept closer, leaving me no room to run and nowhere to hide. If my game was going to end it wouldn't be to those things. I made my choice. I turned my character towards the ocean and had him run, as far as he could until the brine caught him. There was no struggle on his end. He looked almost happy to be caught by the mist. He soon respawned in Casidras, his hometown. It was daytime and the villagers were milling around as usual. My pawns were with me as well, telling me to be more careful of the ocean as the brine can take you to strange places. I couldn't play any more of the game after that strangeness, so I turned it off and took it out and put it away. I don't know why the game acted that way, or how it happened. All I know is that it happened. And every so often, I can still hear them, saying they're waiting. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to leave a like. And if you want more like it, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. If you need more now, why not check out my Gamepasta playlist? I'll leave that on this card, and I'll catch you in the next story.